All right guys, so check it out. I've got quite a few different plants that I need to plug in to my garden this evening. Here I've got some eggplants started from seed. They've been hardening off outside and they're actually starting to get pecked at a little bit by some of the wildlife. So I want to get these in the ground now. I've also got some tomatoes here, a little thirsty at the moment because the sun just went down, but they're just begging to get into the garden. And some squash plants. You know, it's quite surprising how long it can actually take to get plants in the ground if you haven't yet worked an area of your landscape. I mean, to give your plant a proper jump start, you really do need to work that soil, get some amendments put in there, some compost, maybe a bit of fertilizer, loosen things up, pull out the weeds. And this year I started implementing a new technique that is actually really coming in handy. I want to share it with you. And here's a solution that I've come up with that has really helped to expedite the whole planting out procedure. This is my RYOBI battery powered electric auger. This is the 8-inch version. I believe they have a 10-inch auger as well. So I originally picked this up for a fencing project to set some fence posts in the ground. It was going to help to speed up that whole project, and because I already have some RYOBI tools on hand, it's nice because you can interchange the batteries there. But I quickly realized this tool was going to come in handy and have even more uses than just digging holes for fence posts, as it makes quicker work than Matilda out of preparing a site for planting. Isn't that right, Matilda? This thing will run right through hardened clay soils, even larger roots of plants. I'm going to demonstrate for you right now how you can quickly prepare a hole to plant a bare root fruit tree or a transplant, a seedling, into your garden in just a few seconds. And just check this out, guys. This is an area that had not previously been worked. And now we got this nice loosened area of the garden to plant in. Throw a little compost, a little fertilizer in the hole, and you're good to go. All right, so I'm gonna plug in an heirloom brandy wine tomato here. So let's pull some of that loose dirt out of the hole. And we'll add in some compost. This is really just outdoor potting mix. Add some good stuff to the native soil, help to loosen it up. We've got some pretty hard clay soil here in most areas of the yard. This spot wasn't too bad. And I'll throw in about a 1/4 cup of some granular fertilizer. This is a 242 NPK. Next, I'm going to sprinkle in some of this mycorrhizal inoculant. You want this to have contact directly with the roots of the plant. And I'm going to pluck off some of these lower leaves and bury the tomato plant deep, as it will root from up on the stem. So we'll get a nice big root ball. See how healthy those roots are. And backfill. This plant's looking pretty thirsty, so we'll give her a nice cool drink of water. And y'all know the move, dechlorinated city water. I accomplished that by just adding about a 1/4 teaspoon of vitamin C crystals to this 44-gallon trash can full of tap water. That neutralizes any chlorine chloramines. Your plants and the soil food web will love you for that extra step. You can do it. Rainwater would be the best. You can get it off of a clean roof source, concrete roof, metal, tin roof. I do not recommend using rain collected from a tar shingle roof for your edible crops. some ornamentals and trees like that, I don't see a problem with it. But only the best for the things that you're going to consume. And I'll throw a cage around this beauty a little later. The most important thing is to get these plants in the ground this evening. And the last thing here is I'm just going to welcome the plant to the garden by saying, welcome 𝗣𝗏𝗿𝗁 to the backyard food forest. Hope you like your new home here, and we pray that you bless us with an abundance of edible, delicious tomatoes. So bing, bang, boom, the plants in the ground. That was almost fun, I must admit. So I'm going to continue repeating that process again and again. Get as many plants as I can in the garden this evening. The evening time is the best time to get your plants in the ground. If you've got mild overnight conditions, you don't have any wind, that's preferable. Even a bit of cloud cover would be nice, but it's going to give them a nice soft landing so that they can gently ease their way in to the garden without too much shock. If you were to plant out your crops early morning, for example, by the time that afternoon sun hits them, they're going to be drooping over, flopping over. So I prefer the evening. But I have to say, I give this 40-volt RYOBI auger a big thumbs up. It's quiet, it's efficient, it's powerful. It has both a high, a low, and a reverse on the controls. The battery has a quick release here. You press that in, pull the battery out, that plops on the charger. And this 40-volt battery also has a power indicator. You can press the button and see. We've still got 3 bars here. I've already used this to drill out probably 15 planting holes. So energy efficient as well. Now, I'm in no way recommending that your average gardener go out and pick up one of these just for planting out some crops in your yard, but I could see this really coming in handy for larger scale projects, or if you got a lot of trees to plant. You might even consider going out and renting something similar like this and saving yourself, you know, a half day's worth of work. And they do in fact make augers that are much smaller than this that'll actually attach to a drill, for example, and you can use that to plant out bulbs or smaller seedlings as well. So if you're interested in checking some of those things out, check the links down below this video to learn more. You know, there's nothing wrong with putting in a bit of sweat equity in the garden, so don't let a little bit of hard work put you off. That's the way I've been doing it for well over a decade on this project, and I look at the garden in part as my gym, and I think you should do the same. It's absolutely wonderful to be able to get outside, get a bit of a sweat on, get working out in the yard, burn off some of the winter coat, you know what I mean? Here's a couple more tomatoes that I plugged in the same way the other night, as well as a couple zucchini plants. This one is looking like it got pecked at pretty good. We'll see if it survives. The birds have been giving me heck this year, I gotta admit. It's okay though, it's all part of the game. That's why when you plant in abundance, you don't have to worry as much. I say plant 3 or 4 times as much as you think you need, and that'll make up for some of the loss you may experience in various ways, whether it be wildlife, insects, weather related, or even plant neglect. Now, of course, if you're a dialed in professional operation, then you probably got all your T's crossed, your I's dotted, so it's not as big of an issue. But for your typical backyard gardener, some of these little tips I share with you, like planting more than you need, can really be a lifesaver later down the line. The bumblebees are especially fond of the wisteria. Man, this smells so good right now. Anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. Take care. If you got anything out of this video or it was entertaining in any way, be sure to smash that thumb button for me. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. New uploads every week, sometimes every day. And I'm always giving you updates on all the different things growing on around here. So with that, have yourself a good one. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.